to show you today is how to make crepes. So crepes are a French pancake and they're very, very thin. Now I have my batter already ready to go here. Mine's gluten-free, so it is a little bit different. It's a little bit thicker than what we'll have at class. But the key when you're making crepes is, unlike pancakes, you want to make sure all of the clumps are gone. Now I've got a large nonstick frying pan out and I've got it set to medium. So medium is the heat I want you using for this activity. I have some oil ready and a pastry brush. So I'm going to get the pastry brush and I'm going to go around and really lightly grease it. You'll find that if you actually put too much grease on, you won't be able to hold your crepe in the right spot. It will just keep moving around on you. Now, the recipe calls for 3 tablespoons of batter. Now, I'm using a large frying pan, and if we make tortillas in class, we will also use a larger frying pan. So the crepe and the tortilla have a very similar process. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm just going to put the smallest amount of batter into my frying pan. And what I'm looking for is for it to start setting up. Would I be able to flip this little tiny bit? So I'm just keeping an eye here, and you can see here, see it's still very, oh, there we go. Do you guys see that? How it will pull off on its own. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna make a slightly larger crepe. So I'm actually gonna use my 1/4 cup instead, which is not the easiest thing to do because I'm trying to do it with one hand. And I'm gonna put directly over top of those first guys. I'm putting my batter on nice and slow, sorry about that, and trying to maintain that circle. Now, here's the key to the crepe or the tortilla is the swirl. Now, I'm gonna switch hands here and I'm gonna try swirling it with one hand and try to maintain that circle. Now, if we do crepes in class and we use a small frying pan, you're gonna find this a lot easier process because you don't have to fool around with the size and the shape because the frying pan will just do that for you. But because I'm trying to make slightly larger crepes, and I'm using a larger frying pan, it makes it more difficult to actually keep it in that circular shape. But you can see already, it's starting to set up around the edges. So what you're gonna do is it basically goes on, and very quickly, you're able to get underneath it and flip it over. Now, I'm doing this one-handed, so you guys better have no problems, and flip. And can you guys hear that? That sizzle. Now, truthfully, I would actually like mine to be darker than this. It takes about 30 seconds, I'd say. Most recipes say when the batter is no longer shiny, that's a good time to flip it. But right now, I'm really just playing around with it. You'll find that as you keep doing them, each one is going to get easier to do. So what tools did I need? I need a nonstick frying pan. If you're making small crepes, the 3 tablespoon size crepes, just use a small frying pan. If you're going to make tortilla shells for when we make quesadillas, you'll want to use a larger frying pan. You'll need your non-stick rubber spatula, a pastry brush, and please have all the things ready to go, and of course our medium heat. So now I'm going to check to see the other side. What color do I have going on over here? So it's still pretty light, but I'm going to take this one off because I want to do another one with you, and I don't want to waste all kinds of time here. So I'm going to pour my batter on again. Again, I'm doing a 1/4 cup instead of the 3 tablespoons. Notice that I'm not greasing in between every single one. You'll notice if you need to, because again, too much oil is actually going to make it so that the crepe won't stick. And now I'm doing that swirl, so I'm using the pan. Again, not a great looking crepe because I'm trying to do this with my left hand. You know what I'm going to do, you guys? I'm going to make this bigger just so you can see what I mean. So I'm going to dump on lots of batter. Just enough that's going to fill my pan so that you guys can see that whole rotation I'm talking about. Do you now see how it's very easy to make that circle? Because I just keep moving around that loose batter and it's just going to keep filling the holes. This is quite the crepe. And I move it around until I have no loose batter. So even now, do you see that, you guys, how the batter is no longer moving? I'm going to fill in some gaps. This is kind of cheating, and I'm sure there's people out there that would not feel like this is a good idea. But this is for me to eat at my house, so it really doesn't matter. So again, move it around. I don't have to worry about that raw layer because when I flip it over to the other side, it's going to cook. So I'd say that was about 30 seconds or so, but I want this one browner. I know that I wasn't pleased with the color of the last one, which I can show you right here. There's not a lot of brown on it, and I really like that taste that comes with it kind of cooking a bit more. So I'll take my rubber spatula and just first go around and start releasing those edges. Give me a second. Here I am again, releasing those edges. Releasing. Now I'm going to get underneath here. Everybody ready? And flip. And that's how you're going to make your crepe. When you're done making your crepes, make sure your oven is on to 170 degrees Fahrenheit. Make sure you have a cookie sheet in the oven, and then keep putting your crepes or your tortilla shells into the oven. That way they will stay warm while you're waiting to get the rest of them done.